All right, recording. This is, good evening. It's 7:30 and I'd like to open the August 11th Library Trustees Board Committee meeting. This meeting is being held virtually through Zoom. The town of Littleton began conducting remote participation Zoom meetings pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law on March 19, 2020. Since that time, unanticipated legal concerns relating to the open meeting law have been brought to our attention by the town clerk. Those concerns were supported by the Attorney General's office and confirmed by town council. One concern is that the chat function allows a parallel text conversation to a board's public meeting. Chat is essentially running commentary that is occurring but is not moderated or followed by the chair. All participants and listeners may not be aware of the comments being made because some meeting participants join by phone and do not see these conversations. Another concern is conversations between residents within the chat room which are not incorporated into the public record. In response to these concerns, the town will implement the following changes which in no way prohibit any member of the public from participating in discussion and sharing information during a public meeting, and will ensure that all listeners and participants have equal access to this meeting. People that join the Zoom meeting are set so their microphones are muted. If you call in by phone, please use *6 to mute or unmute your phone. So that the meeting can occur in an orderly fashion. We ask that people who join their microphones on mute. I'm hearing background noise. So that the meeting can occur in an orderly fashion, we ask that people who join keep their microphones on mute so background noises do not interfere with the meeting. If you wish to participate in the meeting, please use the raise your hand function available on Zoom, or if you call in by phone, dial *9, which will activate the raise your hand function. The meeting host will notify the chairperson of raised hands, and the chairperson will determine whether and when to allow public comment. When called upon, participants should unmute and then state their name and address. After speaking, we request the participant return their microphone back to mute. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. So going through the agenda, we have public participation.
I don't see anyone.
Correspondence.
None.
Minutes. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes from our July 2nd meeting?
I didn't find anything that stood out.
I thought they were exemplary.
Yep, the only thing is Andy's name is spelled A-N-D-I instead of A-N-D-Y, Andy Curran, big deal. But
she'll be happy with however we spell it.
That's fine with me.
I think we've been spelling it with a Y for years.
She should change it. I make a motion.
Go ahead. Let's see you make it. All right. I make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected of July the 2nd, 2020.
I second it.
Okay, we'll go around roll call. If there's no further discussion, Demetra?
I approve the minutes.
Chris?
Chris approves minutes.
David?
Aye.
Mira?
Aye.
Katrina?
Aye.
Good. Moving on. Next, Treasurer's Report.
Treasurer's Report. Okay. Sam was good enough to put up the BART report, so you should all have a copy of that, whether you can see it or not. The print is so small. But anyway, you have it. And the MMDT operating balance this month is $1,408.86. That's $1,408.86. And the MMDT building fund balance is $586,924.02.
Can you say that one again, Dave?
586,924.02. And that's the treasurer's report.
Dave, can you just tell me what the date on that report is?
Yeah, if you give me, well, just give me a second. I get it. Before, okay, Steve Committee. Last Thursday, whatever the date was last Thursday.
Like the 4th?
I don't have August 6th. August 6th.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Friends report.
That's me. Mira wasn't able to attend, so I was already attending for fundraising stuff, so I stepped in. They sent out the membership newsletter with an update on the project and everyone's little blurb in there. And I did notice the other day that there's memberships coming in, which is great. Sarah started an album with construction pictures over time, so if we need anything for promotions or some sort of update, those pictures exist, which is good. They're starting to sell the masks. They're planning, I don't know if they're going to sell them or they're going to use them in mini golf. We can get to that later. The masks that we had printed. And the next meeting was August 19th, which is next Wednesday. The rest of it was mini golf related.
Okay.
Should I just keep going?
Keep going. You can go right into fundraising.
All right. So for fundraising, a couple things happened in the last month. So I attended the Emerson Community Benefits, like a Zoom meeting. They did the update of whether they're doing that grant program. So they will be doing it again this year. So last year we got $3,000 from doing an application. And so the application should be coming out September, I believe. We're on their mailing list, so we'll get it. But we should think about if there's something we think we can form another year's application for to see if we could get another grant for the library. Also in fundraising, the Reader for Life Readathon wrapped up. They just ended it. There were 10 readers participating this year, and they raised over $3,700, which means for the 2 years they've done it, they've hit $10,000, which is impressive, given that they're under 11. And then the big thing is, of course, mini golf, which is coming up next week. So it's starting on Saturday, August 15th and ending on August 22nd. And we've organized a lot of activities during the week. So first we had a number of sponsors return, and we have $6,700 that came in from that. And then we've organized all of the auction items are going to be done in an online auction. So people can go online and bid for the things, and the top bid will win it. So that will all be done online this year versus in person. And then we've organized, one of the things we love about mini golf is the community aspect. So we were trying to organize some free activities to engage people, like try to bring the community out and do them. So we've partnered with the Conservation Commission to host 2 story walks. I don't know if anyone's seen, Diane's done these in summer reading, where you have a children's picture book in a frame, and you line them up on the conservation trails. So you start at one point and you read the book as you walk, basically. So we're doing one of those Sunday, August 16th at Hartwell, and Thursday, August 20th at Cloverdale. We also partnered with Eloquence Dance Center for a free dance lesson, just as another activity. Sam's let us have the Zoom link to be able to run that. And then we've also organized a concert with Kelly's Music. So the kids will play for an hour one evening. I think it's the 20th at 7. So there'll be a virtual concert. People can log into Zoom to watch and enjoy. And then we have some kind of asynchronous activities happening. Oh, there's some scavenger hunt over Zoom that we're doing. We're hoping people will log in to participate. And for each of those, like, you can win a Kimball's gift card if the winner will win a gift card. So if you participate, you have a chance to win. And then, let's see, we've organized a home-in-one backyard mini golf contest. So we're hoping to encourage families or anyone who wants to participate to create their own mini golf hole in their backyard or inside their house or using whatever materials they have. The tagline is use your clutter, win a putter. So, so we're hoping people will participate, and there's a form that people can submit a video or a picture of them playing their hole, and there'll be some Kimball gift certificates as a prize to the winner, plus a putter. They win the putter. And great bragging rights on that one. And then there's some smaller estimation contests. There's a Java-based Minecraft mini golf course that people could actually download and play that's been developed. And also some videos if they're not on Java for other platforms so that kids can create their own. So there's like a YouTube instructional video for that. I can't think of, I'm sure I'm missing things, but go to the website to get the whole list of things for the week. But when I looked at the library's website, we filled up your calendar quite well. So I feel like we did okay that way. So there are a few things that we as a committee could use to help spread the word. If you guys could help us get the word out about library mini golf, because I think that's our biggest fear, is that there's only so many people we can reach and that we need help spreading the word about it. So first, thank you all for donating something to the auction. I think every single one of us in some capacity has had our hands in it, which is amazing. It's really thankful for those donations. And then if anyone has Facebook, we'd love if you guys could like and share and amplify the website or, the online auction, things like that. So if just during the week you can keep clicking and trying to drive people to the website and the auction, that would be great. And if you guys want to participate in the home-in-one backyard mini golf contest, that would be awesome. I hear there's already a video of Mark somewhere in existence. Can't wait to see that. So if you guys are free and want to sign into the events, it's always good. I'd hate for no one to show up to somebody's event. So that would be great. And then, and encourage others to show up to them. And then I said I would step up and be a talking head here on some of these videos that we're creating. But if anyone wants to join me, I'm happy to have a second face on there with me, and we can give you a script and just reach out. So if you're interested or not shy, let me know. And then let's see, there's one other thing. Mark, I heard you are lined up to do a presentation on the status of the library, like doing a quick video of this is where we are on the construction.
Okay.
Is that true?
If you say so.
All right, we have lined you up for that.
Okay.
And let's see. The other thing is, if anyone wants to help me move Storywalk signs into the conservation area on the Sunday or the Thursday, I welcome anybody's hands. I need some brute force to get them in.
When do you plan on setting those up?
So we need to set them up on Sunday. I think we go at 8:30. They should be up by 10 in the morning. So I plan to go to Hartwell at 8:30 in the morning, and they will be up by 10 or close enough. And then we'll tear them down at 5. So we'll meet at 5 to start pulling them out. Thursday is a little more difficult because we work, so we might actually sneak in a little earlier to do that, but I haven't thought that through. I think we're going to use our setup experience on Sunday to inform when we should start on Thursday.
I'm free on Thursday, so I'm happy to help with that.
That would be awesome. So that one's at Cloverdale.
Yep.
Okay.
I can definitely help with, you said 5 o'clock on Sunday?
That's the teardown, yep.
I might be able to help with setup or teardown. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll touch base later.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll be talking to you.
I am sure we will. And then...
And in the auction, the donuts and the pretzels are mine.
No, they're not. I put a stipulation on my donuts that they're not to be won by Mark. Just kidding.
I know the baker.
I hear you run with them occasionally. And then the other thing, Sam, I don't know if you could put a sign outside in front of the library just for anyone doing pickups, like they're picking up their library books or dropping them off, just to say it's Mini Golf Week and with the website. I can email it to you later.
Yeah,
That would be helpful. And you already did the other things I was hoping, so that's great. And then the other thing is, if the librarians are willing, we would love to see them have their own home in one whole if they're able to. So I let you talk to them about it, but if some or all of them wanted to get into the fun, Sarah said she could mash a video together, or we could figure out how to do it.
okay.
But if anyone wants to get into the fun part of that, that would be awesome. We miss their faces, so we'd love to see them on them.
I'll talk to them.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I think that's it from the fundraising point of view. Any questions about that? I just dropped a bunch of information.
So I'll add a little more on fundraising that's not mini golf related, in that Katrina and I have been putting together a letter to some larger donor or potential donors to send out that will probably go out. I'm hoping later this week. I have to go through the current floor plan and figuring out what areas aren't named yet or aren't reserved yet, so we can come up with a list of areas that we could still name. So I'm hoping to do that in the next day or two and get a list out. I think we put together about 10-ish letters to send out to people.
Yeah.
And if people have other ideas of who we might want to approach, feel free to send them to me and we'll get a letter off to them. So, so that will be going out here hopefully before the weekend.
Great.
Any other questions on fundraising? Oh, the other thing on the fundraising is I believe the Cooper Foundation has signed on. So they sent I believe they sent a check to the Friends. So thank you to Sherry Gould and the Cooper Foundation for their support.
Yes, Friends has that check. So.
Yes. Okay. If nothing else, we'll move on to building project updates. So their building project holds meetings every Monday that Sam and I both attend, and for the most part, I don't know what Sam gets out of them because most of it I don't understand. They talk about all these change order type things or whatever, but on the project itself, they will be all the knotweed has been transported off-site now to a landfill in New Hampshire. They will be starting some of the concrete footings. I think they're planning on pouring them probably Friday. So concrete will be starting very shortly. I think they're still on schedule, but it's always hard to tell when you're in these meetings because they're always saying that if we don't get this, we're going to fall behind, and I never know if that's the same thing they were complaining about last week or the week or not. So on the overall building project, I think we're still roughly on track. They've hit a couple snags, but nothing that's really slowed down or caused any overruns or delays. So anything else to add, Sam? Any questions on that so far? Okay, trustees updates. So who wants to start?
I'll go. I've been really busy around the house, so I haven't had much chance to do much anything. So it's go to work, and then come home and work on the house, rinse and repeat. For weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm not done yet. There you have it. That's me.
Okay. Chris, anything? You're muted.
I know. Yeah, nothing really new. Just work. You know, I'm still working mostly from home, a couple days a week. That we're back in the office at the college, so that's supposedly better. But I find being in two places more difficult to work, actually. And trying to get my writing done. My exciting news is that I found out today that we were The Art of the Swap, which is the book that came out 2 years ago, is on a school library list for the state of Louisiana this coming year for 2021. So I don't know why or how, but apparently librarians in Louisiana liked our book. So, but it's exciting news. It just means it's not going out of print anytime soon. So that'll be good. But aside from that, nothing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It seems library related.
Anything, Mira?
Not really. Basically, life is consumed now by trying to figure out what's happening for the school year, both for me and for the kids. So that is monopolizing every conversation that I have with anybody, basically. So, good times. That's it.
Demetra?
So my oldest is doing the summer reading, and she hit 100 hours the other day that she's read this summer, and I don't know, I think she's going for 125, but it's really cool to see how much she's been reading. And I don't know, I just take pictures of birds. That's what my summer's been. So.
Your pictures of birds are actually amazing. So keep doing that. It's very cool. I'm enjoying those.
Thanks.
I personally
Katrina?
like the commentary with them, Demetra. You got to keep up the like taglines that go with them. So I have two readers who also hit 100. My youngest for his first time, which he's very proud of. 100 hours in the summer reading. And then if what I just spewed at you wasn't enough update, I don't know what is. So I've gotten to visit a couple times just to say hi and drop off and get books. The reader advisory forum keeps being awesome. So awesome. Keep that up because that's really saving us right now as a family.
So I don't really have much in the way of updates. I wanted to thank Katrina and her kids for the Reader for Life program. I think it was great. I'm working with the friends. We're trying to figure out how to start cleaning out the trailer and trying to figure out how to do some sort of a book sale after mini golf is over, because the trailer's starting to become inundated, and I'm sure there's going to be more soon. So I really don't have much else to report. It's kind of nice when I go to the library now, and all the librarians seem to flock to the door to say hi to everyone. And I assume it's not just me, but but it's very nice to see. So, do you have any updates, Helen? You're muted.
No. Well, we'll get to the asking for money part later.
Okay. So then we'll move on to the director's report.
Okay, so in-network borrowing has resumed. So all MVLC libraries are now sharing with each other. So that's increased the amount of bins we get every day. Computer appointments have also started. On July 27th, they started. We've only had about 6 or 7 people sign up. We've tried getting it out there. Obviously, if a person doesn't have a computer, it's hard for them to see it online. But I've told the Council on the Aging about it. We put it in the newspaper. We're trying to get word of mouth out there. So if you know anyone that needs a computer appointment, just send them our way. They can call, or they can go to the website and make an appointment online, or ask someone to make an appointment, or use their phone. Let's see. Reader's advisory has also increased. every day we're getting requests for books from both children's and other departments, so that's going well. Summer reading has hit almost 300 signups online. It's less than we've had before, but it's still pretty good considering COVID. Facebook and Zoom programs are also continuing. They're doing pretty well. And Helen has created several art kits, which are also a big hit. Every time she puts them on, she puts an email blast out. Within like a couple hours, about 50 of them are gone. Seriously, they're gone. So it's really great. The rest is just stats. I'll talk about other stuff later on in the agenda. But yeah, the rest is stats. As you can see, mostly our streaming services are getting a lot of use right now. And materials is on track, and payroll is on track, and everything else has a spending freeze on it. So that's why the financial report is so small. So, any questions?
Do we know anything about the spending freeze being lifted or how it's going to affect materials going forward?
No, I know that Cheryl, the finance director, is going to finish out the accounts from last fiscal year. So I think once they finish out last fiscal year, they'll know more about the next fiscal year. So that happens on Friday, I believe.
Okay. Any other questions for Sam on the report?
Not a question, but I'm just thrilled that reciprocal borrowing is back. So that gives a lot more options. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
True.
Can we continue to send out those like bi-weekly newsletters telling people what the status is and things like reciprocal borrowing is back? Yeah. I noticed it was back because I just started getting books that I put on hold that I didn't expect to get for quite a while. But we should keep telling people what our status is and make them feel welcome in the library or around the library services. So.
No problem.
Okay. Anything else on the director's report? Okay, hours of operation.
So last time we met, we discussed opening every day at 10 a.m. Andy and I and Helen, we all looked at it, and we don't think it's going to work. We don't have the staffing for it. If we did it, it'd kind of be lopsided as far as staffing goes. Also, a lot of the staff work at other libraries, so that's an issue. Now we don't know what's going on with the school, so a lot of our staff are parents, and they have kids, and they have to take care of the kids. So it's really hard to find a way to make it work. Honestly, most of the patrons don't know when we're open anyway most of the time. Sometimes they show up at any time, so I don't know if changing the hours is going to help. I think this is something that we should hold off until the new library comes along and revisit it. I mean, not to be too blunt, but I know a lot of my staff, they're planning to retire after we open. And so I think once that happens, that leaves us more room to sort of play with the schedule a little bit. So, any questions about that?
I agree. I think it's a good idea to leave the hours the way it is right now. There's so much other stuff going on anyway.
Yeah.
Why stir the pot some more? I think it's a good decision on your part to just leave it.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, COVID updates.
All right. So
Russia's got a vaccine today. That's a COVID update.
Yeah, so staff has been super busy with curbside. They're running up and down the stairs. We're getting tons of bins every day, and we're quarantining them for at least 72 hours. So there's a buildup. So staff is running up and down the stairs, helping patrons. There are multiple phone calls that sometimes Helen and I have to. There are 3 staff members on the phone, and then the phone's ringing again. So either Helen and I have to answer the phones, or Susan. It's just been super crazy, but staff is doing a great job. They're doing really well under the pressure. Like I said before, computer appointments have also been, they're here and there, but we're trying to get the word out there. As far as town hall, we had a department head meeting this morning, and they were planning to open by appointment only on August 17th, but apparently after last night's selectmen or select board meeting, they're not too sure right now. They're thinking maybe they'll open by appointment with a greeter to have someone escort them through the building, but they're not sure. So as of right now, I think we should continue curbside for at least the next month. A lot of our neighboring towns, it's kind of a mixed bag. I know Chelmsford is letting in people. Westford was letting in people, but then they stopped. I think Acton's still closed. I'm not sure about Air. Broaden's open, but they only let a certain amount of people in. So I think right now how the staff feels from what I've spoken to them about it. We had a staff meeting, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I talked to them about it, and they're all more comfortable waiting at least another month to see how things go.
I'm fine with revisiting more, regardless of what town hall does. I'm fine with saying at our September meeting we'll revisit whether we want to open for more services or not. One question I would have, though, is I know some of the other departments in the building are likely going to be crunched for space, and we have 2 meeting rooms that are basically going to be sitting vacant for the foreseeable future that I was wondering if we wanted to offer as offices for people. Like, I don't know if the veterans agent is going to, for example, the veterans agent, if he will be meeting with people again, and we can basically say that
He's
until
been in
we
there,
open.
Mark.
Okay.
He's been in there.
Okay, so how's he meeting with people if they're not allowed in the building?
He has been in there working himself.
Okay.
When I come in the morning, many times he comes in pretty early, and I'd say he's in there, and I hear him on the phone when I come in. So I don't know if he's meeting with people or meeting with them outside on the bench, but he's there early. I notice he uses his office.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just suggesting that if we're not using the rooms and there's a way we can allow the other departments to safely use the rooms, we might want to come up with a policy on how we could use them. Like, if the Cooper, if there's very few rooms the size of the Cooper room in the building, which I think still probably only hold maybe 10 to 12 people, given the restrictions now. So we might want to say we are not going to be using the room for the rest of the year, and figure out a way to offer it or not. I'm not suggesting we do, but if we're not going to be using it, maybe we can work on coming up with the ground rules for using it. And I'm not suggesting we do that tonight, but maybe Sam, you should think about that, or Sam and Katrina or someone can think about that and come up with an idea of, if we want to offer it to the other departments, how we could do that in a safe and reliable manner that keeps our staff safe, but allows, shows goodwill to the rest of the town that we're not sitting on a room that could potentially be used as an office or a small meeting room for another department that needed it. Right. It's unprecedented times in the building, and we should figure out how to be nice corporate citizens. I'm not suggesting that people hold programs in it, right, for anything, but, the selectmen's room is about the same size, and I think that holds about a dozen people, right? And there might be times that there's a place that needs a meeting for that many people.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, room 103 is a max of 6. So I think the Cooper room is like maybe 13. I don't remember the max, but then you have a configuration issue with the pool. But
yeah, so the Cooper room is probably the second largest room in the building then. And I don't know, well, maybe LCTV has a bigger room, but if the selectmen's, if they were using the selectmen's room for another purpose, where they used to have 13 people in there, and now they have no other room, and we're not using the room, and they could safely use the room for 13 people, maybe we should come up with a plan, right? I'm not suggesting we come up with a plan tonight, but it might be a nice thing to do, because I know all the departments are going to be struggling with space in the building. So.
Okay, I can talk about that with Katrina in the future, and we can.
Yeah. Okay. We can. Anything else on the COVID updates?
No.
Has there been any thought to like moving the books so that the staff don't have to go up and down the stairs so much, or is that not really practical? If we're not letting people into the building,
right? They have their own system. They figured it out after the last few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've volunteered as the muscle to pull things upstairs too. So it's fun.
Okay.
So when I was there earlier this week, Andy said that people do the reader advisory and then kind of forget to pick their books up after they're told they're there. So that's the one. She was just wanting to get the word out. So, well, how can we get the word out about reminding people to pick up? Because I have to admit, I'm just as bad about this.
Yeah. The thing is, so for example, we tried to put something in Action Unlimited, and something we submitted 4 months ago was put in the most recent Action Unlimited. So it's not that we're not trying to get the word out there, it's that sometimes the avenue we're trying to go down doesn't work out for us. So we're trying, but if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I mean, we send out updates and newsletters. We put stuff on Facebook.
So I'm wondering if there's I know not everyone is on Facebook, but if you do a reminder, we can cross-post it for you.
Okay. All right.
And seeing as I was a demographic who forgot, I'm assuming someone like me might also be forgetting.
So I know when books are ready on hold, you get that initial email and they're good for a week. Is there a way after 5 days or something to send another reminder email? I don't know if that.
I would have to ask MVLC about that.
Yeah.
I can ask them tomorrow.
The other question I have for you, Sam, is Library Elf doesn't seem to be working anymore. Do you know anything about that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Library
Elf no longer I get notices from MVLC when books are due, but I never get anything from Library Elf anymore. It stopped when all the books went on basically indefinite checkout, and then I got one notice that the books were due, and then I never get anything that says I have holds or anything from Library Elf anymore.
I'm not sure. I can check on that too.
And I still have random weird issues when I go to Littleton Library. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I get certificate issues. So I don't know if other people are having problems or not.
I'm not.
I have had that issue.
You have had that issue too? All right. Yeah, I brought it up with IT, and they don't see an issue. They don't see the problem. I will ask her again tomorrow and tell her that you also have the issue. But yeah, we've looked at it like 3 times, and they don't see anything.
All right. The next time I have it, I'll screenshot it or something.
All right.
Okay. Anything else on the COVID updates? We can table the library policies because I still haven't done anything to organize any of that to get it going. Bill signing. So every year around this time or a few months ago, we have to say how many people are going to be signing bills and payroll. So our plan has been, our mode of operandi has been 2 people sign all the bills and all the payroll. So we basically need to either revote to continue doing that or some other plan of how many people we want to sign.
You just talking about the number of people that sign?
I'm just talking about the number of people. So I don't know how the signing procedure is actually working from Susan's end. At the moment, I believe I'm signing all of the bills and payroll, and then she's picking someone else. And I don't know if she's randomly picking someone or designating someone for the week or the month or something else. There's also talk about whether, when I was talking to Susan before, whether I should be signing all of them or she should say that, Dave and Katrina are going to be signing all the bills for August, and then she'll pick 2 other people for September. Since they're all being signed electronically at the moment, I don't know what people prefer on that. I don't know what people prefer on the number, right? So we need to vote the number, and if we want to have a policy on how Susan should be picking people, we should tell her what we want her to do.
I think 2 is fine, plus Sam, for a total of 3 signatures, 2 of them being trustee and 1 being Sam.
So are you going to put that in the form of a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have 2 trustees sign all the bills and payrolls in addition to Sam.
I second that.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion on that? Okay, then we'll go through a roll call. Katrina?
I approve.
Dave?
Aye.
Mira?
Aye.
Demetra?
I approve.
Chris?
Chris approves.
Okay, so it passes. Now,
You didn't vote.
I never vote. Chairs aren't supposed to vote if you're actually
I'm counting
following
you as
Robert's Rules of Order. So yes, you can count me. Fine. So the procedures, I don't know. Someone else must be signing bills right now outside of me.
Right now it's Sam, you, and then me, because they come to me last.
Okay, so Sam
done a
signing all
few.
of them. Sam signing them, and I'm signing them. Do we want to just basically designate 2 people for the month, or do you want to allow Susan to pick the people, or I don't know how it's rotating on your end. I've been signing them since March. So
I had a short conversation with Sue about a month ago. She was rotating around, and then she decided, I don't know if she decided not to or what. Okay, but why don't we just leave it to her?
okay, that's fine by me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Whatever's convenient for Susan. I think.
Okay.
If we make it mandate her do something, it's going to make her life more complicated, I think.
Yeah. Keep it
Okay.
simple.
Okay, that works for me too. Okay, holiday pay.
All right. So in the past, before we changed over to Munis, the new financial software, the staff received a day for a holiday. So every time there was a holiday, they got the full day, no matter what hours they worked. Then we switched over to Munis, and that changed because Munis counts not by days, but by hours. So then it became an issue because some of the staff work 6-hour day, 8-hour day, and instead of getting their full 6 hours though, they're only getting a prorated amount. So for instance, if a staff member works 20 hours, they only get 4 hours of holiday time. I work 40 hours a week, so I get 8 hours. And then someone who works 30 hours gets something like 6 hours. So the staff, the benefited staff are, except for me, because I get the full time, they're upset about it because they're not getting the hours that they would normally get that they got in the past. So take not only holidays, but then if they want to get full pay, they have to use some of their vacation time to do it. So recently, the personnel committee made this change. They did it because they felt there was an imbalance in the town. It wasn't just the library; it was all town employees. I sent you the bylaw personnel change in your packet. It's a little hard to understand in parts because of the way they worded it. Helen, you're one of the people that it affects. Do you want to?
Yeah, no, I just want to say on that note, it's really easy, I think, because a lot of the businesses, like the town hall, are 9 to 3 or 9 to 4. So every day is extremely interchangeable. So a Monday is good for a holiday or a Tuesday or whatever. But for us, on Monday, it's 10 to 4 we're open. So you either have the option, if you have someone who's 20 or 30 hours, to reduce their hours to fit the schedule so they receive their 10 holidays, or put 2 people on where we would have only run with 1 person. Does that make sense? If you've got 2 20-hour people and they want to get their holiday, they can only work 4 hours on Mondays instead of the original 6 hours, because otherwise they have to go tap into their vacation. And for people that kind of they felt like they should be able to exchange a shift for a shift, not so much a day for a day, but a shift for a shift. If you're always working 10 to 4 on Mondays, on that one holiday that comes, they feel that they're entitled to 10 to 4 for their holiday. So there's a lot of dissension right now with it.
If they didn't work on Mondays, they'd still feel entitled to holiday pay on Monday, even though Monday was the holiday. So it goes both ways, right? I mean, this is standard corporate practice that all holidays are prorated that way. So I feel that it's people are upset that it's a change, but it's not an unusual change, right?
Agreed there. But I think what happens is we need to adjust then our schedule so people really do get their 10 holidays, I guess. So maybe it's do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a 2 shifts on Mondays as opposed to a 1 shift. Because Monday's really the day that most of the holidays fall on.
So really why I'm bringing this up is the staff was upset about it and they wanted me to bring it to the trust. Right. The bylaws already been changed.
Right, it's done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal, and it's really up to me and Helen and Susan to figure out the schedule for the staff. Yeah. Really, I'm just bringing this to not just to let you guys know that it's a change that happened.
So I understand the upset, but it seems like actually, in my opinion, it's a good and fair policy and what everyone else does. And what we should make sure we do is that just, if someone worked, let's say the holiday was on Monday and they would normally work 6 hours, but they only get paid for 4 hours a holiday, that we have some way of allowing them to make up their other 2 hours some other time during the week, right? They shouldn't lose time because it's a holiday, right? That they could make up on some other day.
That's
right?
Reasonable. Yep. That's reasonable.
So that's how I think we should accommodate people, right?
And that's what we do for the most part anyway.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Is anybody, excuse me, is anybody using vacation time to make up? Of course, you haven't had many holidays on Mondays since this has started, but do you anticipate people using holiday time?
This issue came up last fiscal year, and I went to the personnel committee with Helen and Jenna, and we discussed it with them, and they agreed to go back to shift for a shift for that fiscal year, and then to revisit it in the new fiscal year. And that's where this new bylaw came from, is they revisited it and decided that now it's a prorated amount. So, yeah. So everyone got their hours for last fiscal year, but now in this new fiscal year, it starts the new change.
Does anyone else have any other comments? Okay. Fall programming, Littleton Reads.
So, as we mentioned before, Helen's been doing those art craft kits, and they're going really well. But the problem is because we're buying all the supplies, the costs are going up, and there's a spending freeze, and I can't use the programming money that I have in my budget, new this year, to do that. So Helen and I thought we'd come to you and the Friends. The Friends meet next week and ask for, I think, $500 from you guys, and we're going to ask the Friends for $500 so that we can continue these very popular craft kits programs.
So to show my limited attention span or memory, what did we allocate for trust funds from the budget this year versus last?
$12,000.
We did 12 in both?
12 for this
12 year. For 2021 and 12 for 2020. Because I thought we weren't taking as much from I thought we didn't have to take as much from materials this year.
Right. Last year it was 15,000. So, or 13,000. So I think this year it's 12,000. No, last year was 15. This year is 12.
Okay. So what I would suggest, why don't we say that we'll take that extra 3 and use it for your programming budget?
Wow.
Don't spend it all at once.
Talk to Helen. She's the one who does it.
You're muted, Helen.
You're muted.
Hang on. I'm not. Okay. I have a quick question. Do you think, and this is one that we can deal with tomorrow, but I just had this brainstorm, that we could use what we're purchasing for materials, because they are educational, towards our MAR? Could we ask them?
What were the materials we're buying?
Yep. Yep.
Count towards the MAR.
No?
They don't count.
Oh.
Mark, can you repeat where that $3,000 is coming from?
Well, that was my next question to Sam, was do we have money sitting in state aid that we haven't used that we would like to use, or do we want to take it out of trust funds?
There is money sitting in state aid. I don't know
that we're not planning on spending?
Well, the thing is, we've been spending it on things like supplies, because I'm not allowed to spend out of my actual supply budget, and we need supplies. So I've been spending here and there out of state, because state can be spent on anything. So there is money there, and then I don't know how much money we're going to get this coming year for state because of COVID.
You mean, okay, so we don't know how much money we're going to be getting back from MBLC from the state, you mean?
Okay. For this.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So what I was suggesting is in fiscal year 2020, Sam says we spent $15,000 out of trust funds for the materials budget. In fiscal year 2021 that just started in July, we're spending $12,000. So we could take another $3,000 out of trust funds to be where we were at for last year, and allow that to be Sam's and Helen's programming budget, which I think is actually a much better use of a lot of the trust funds than using it for the materials budget anyway, and that's where we should be heading. The only fun part of that is then we would have to either allocate trust funds or ask Steve to take it out of something, right? We'd have to go to the BART report and pick what we're taking it out of.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do people agree with that approach, or they have a different approach? Or
it makes sense. We're not in a position right now. We're not set up right now to make a decision on which. But could we maybe entertain a motion to remove $3,000 from a fine from an account to be designated, and then just figure this out in the morning when
So Sam, do you have enough money in the state aid to last you to do this for the month of August, and then we can vote money to move out of trust funds in September?
That's fine.
And assume we'll give you $3,000, and we'll just figure out where it comes from.
Still in the meeting.
Helen's on the move.
That's great.
Yeah, it's better because we couldn't see you before.
Okay, and that also gives Sam a chance to talk to Cheryl and figure out when the budget's going to be freed up and things like that. So
yeah.
But
if it became necessary, we could always meet for 15 minutes to choose from which account we were going to take it from if we needed to.
Well, he's only got like 3 weeks that he has to spend.
That's true.
It's only like $100 per kit, so the next kit will come out for a couple weeks anyway.
Okay, so assume we'll give you $3,000 for programming.
Great.
And we'll just figure it out at the next meeting. That's for the craft supplies. Are we going to do a Littleton Reads or something again, or?
Yeah, Helen and I were talking about the most difficult part is what programs to go along with it, because of everything that's going on right now. So we're trying to figure that out. We think it's a good idea to do it right now because of COVID and everything. But we just have to figure out what book to do and then what programs can go along with that book at this moment because So if you have suggestions for books, send them our way. And then we'll come back next in September with an idea for Littleton Reads, and we can go from there. And we'll probably do it in November or something, October, November.
So I think the Littleton Lyceum has 2 authors giving talks in like October, November, December. And maybe we can figure out how to partner with the Lyceum and come up with something along what they're doing, and do some cross promotion. And, you know, you can basically get a program for free for the library out of the Lyceum, and we can help them advertise too. So talk to Andy about that, or Cheryl or Jean. I mean, there's enough librarians on the Lyceum committee. We should be able to figure out something we could do to cross promote and take advantage of that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
And then we'd probably have to figure out how to make if we're making a kid's version of Littleton Reads, what to do or how to do something like that. So I don't know if that comes into Diane's area, or we're not going to do it, or if you want to partner, if Diane wants to partner with the schools or something too. So that's the other alternative there. So, okay.
Okay.
Is there a plan for putting more general adult programming and things together for the fall? Some Zoom programming stuff, or?
Yeah. So the only thing that's been holding me back is the money, because actually this year the town gave me money for programming, which they hadn't before. But there's a spending freeze on it. So first time they do it. But yeah, I do have plans. I'm just waiting for summer reading to be over, and then.
Okay. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about on programming? Okay. If not, we'll move on to the building project COVID response.
So last Wednesday, I met with the architects, with 2 of the architects, Stu Roberts and Natalie, and they came up with a new outline for the floor plans for the furniture that I sent out to you guys. They spaced out things a little more. They suggested tables that have dividers in them that are removable, but are see-through, so it lets light in. But they also divide people sitting at the tables. They also separated the tables so that they're everybody 6 feet apart. Less chairs, less comfy chairs in certain areas. The materials that the chairs would be made of are materials that can be wiped down and cleaned very easily. They put hand sanitizing stations all over the place in the building that they marked off on the plan. What else? They also talked about how our HVAC system and the filter will have to be, the filters will have to be changed every month once the building opens. They'll also have these filters that have UV rods in them. It's the same sort of filters they use in operating rooms. And so the air goes through the filters, the UV light kills the germs, and it doesn't kill all of the germs at once, but the air keeps flowing through, and so every pass, more germs are killed. So they suggested putting that into the new building. Yeah, so, and then I sent you guys some furniture options that they were thinking of. I gave them some the furniture that I thought might look good from the options, but it's really enough that we can pick whatever we want. So that's where we're at. Was taking furniture from the libraries.
Did they give you an idea on the relative cost of this plan versus the original plan?
No. There is less furniture, so they said the cost of the different materials isn't really a big change. So, but there is less furniture, so I would assume it'd be slightly less. But we haven't gone to any vendors yet. They're sort of picked from different vendors. So right now they have an idea of where we're going with it, but they don't have an exact number yet. That's we're going to have future meetings to determine that.
And the cost of the HVAC system is going to change, or that hasn't come up at the building committee meeting?
Yeah, that was the thing they just suggested. I don't think it's I think having to change the filters will increase our cost afterwards. But as far as the UV rods, that has not come up, and I don't think that was just a suggestion. They haven't actually said we're going to implement it yet or not.
Okay. Do you want me to follow up with that with Brian and Steve Moore?
Sure.
I can do. I will do that. So, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, didn't I hear or read, I'm not sure where I heard it, that they want to have 2 hours additional operational time before the library opens every day?
Right. So the new system in the building will be controlled by computer. So in occupied mode is when the library will be open. So they suggested we put it into occupied mode 2 hours earlier before we open, so that the air has time to circulate.
Yeah, that must change the amount of electricity or power that we're using also.
Right.
Okay. It is what it is.
So so I've been participating in the building itself meetings. Does someone want to volunteer to be a trustee representative to sit with Sam when he's meeting with the architect about furniture and plans like that? And be another set of ears and...
Well, I looked at that furniture list in the pictures today. I don't have the slightest clue of what to choose, so that's not my wheelhouse. All the ladies are really silent.
Well, do you have somebody, like one of the staff members sitting in on this? Because it would be helpful for staff to, I mean, they know what works in the building. Like I'm looking at these pictures, like the stack and display. And if you don't have it in front of you, you have these 5 shelf high fixed stacks, and then at the end is here. Maybe I could just kind of show it to you, but I don't know if you can't see it. Never mind. there's shelves. There's like a narrow shelf on the end. I just remember when I went to Mashpee, they had shelves like that, and when I took pictures, people didn't like it. They thought it wouldn't be good. They were too high. I don't know. Would it be helpful if somebody from library staff sat in as well, or just instead of a trustee?
I think a trustee should be sitting in there too, and if there's another staff person, I'm fine with that too. No offense to Sam, but I don't think that we want Sam picking the furniture in a vacuum by himself. Partially because I don't want carpet that looks like what we currently have in the building, but
I don't think Sam picked that.
I'm not blaming Sam for that. I know who picked that, but it would just be good to have another set of eyes on it, and another just another perspective on it, just to make sure that I mean, Sam's meeting with architects that are going to make recommendations, and then he has to go through and evaluate them and figure out what he thinks is best. But it's hard to do, I think, by yourself, because they're making all these recommendations without the Littleton context, and Sam has some of it, but we also have some of it. So I think it's a good counterbalance to have them not gang up on Sam, basically, right? And to have someone that Sam can bounce ideas off of, and someone can sit there and say, I don't know that this works for us, that, maybe we'd like this type of chair rather than that type of chair, or, this is how we find that people use the library and get, different things. Or like, Sam's got a different perspective than we do as not just trustees, but as patrons of the library, right? I never see Sam sitting in the comfy chairs out front, for example, right? So I think it would be good not only to have staff, but have one of us as both a trustee, but also as a patron on there, right? So
Do you have when
I
those
don't really
meetings
want to
are?
do it.
Are those meetings, are those times set, or do you not?
No, we don't have regular meetings. We just had the first meeting last Wednesday.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy to, if it's a time when I can make it, just let, I'm happy to do that.
I'm curious about this too, Sam. So tell us. I think more heads on this might actually be better, because
Yeah,
I think we all
agreed.
approach this differently. And I know from like my perspective, I have someone in the children room, someone in YA, and then an adult myself who works there. So I can see how varying perspectives would really benefit thinking it through, if you're willing to have us all.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I have a lot of questions on how these desks function, and some of them have partitions, and they're illustrations. They're not actual photographs of the real furniture. So, would they be able to answer these questions?
So I think the desks you're talking about, those were created by them as examples of what we could have.
Okay.
Custom, or not custom, but they have similar desks like that they can have made. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they can answer those questions. They purchase furniture.
So as I'm watching them, how they're building the exterior of the building, if you're not buying custom stuff, there's going to be demos for samples for everything. I think at some point they're going to drop off a bunch of bricks and say, pick which color you want, for example, right? And I would guess that if you're not having custom built furniture, they'll drop off, this table versus that table, and you can say, I like this one, I don't like that one, and we can try them out. But I think that, having, a select group of people going through and narrow down the, hundreds of tables to the handful of tables would be a help. And yeah.
All right.
This is the fun stuff.
So Chris and Katrina, you want to do it? Does anybody else want to do it? All right. So next time I speak with the architects, I'll reach out to you guys, and I'll reach out to the staff tomorrow and see who on the staff wants to participate.
I want to help pick out the carpet colors.
Okay. You are not
That's
allowed.
my only requirement. Well, I don't want to pick them out. I just want to overrule ones that I don't like.
The ones that are nauseating.
Yes. So, okay. Anything else on the building project COVID? Okay, other business. Anyone have anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, we'll go through. Katrina.
I approve that motion.
David.
Aye.
Chris.
Aye.
Demetra.
Aye.
Mira. Oh wait,
Aye.
yeah. And one other thing I think we have to do before we, September 3rd is a Thursday. Do we want to move our meeting to a different day to avoid school committee or other meetings?
There is a school committee meeting that day, and I think there's enough of us parents on the board that it would be helpful.
So what day would people like to meet?
How about the following Tuesday?
That would be the 8th.
Whatever. I mean, today worked out well as far as my schedule was concerned, so I could meet on a Tuesday, and you don't want to have it before the 3rd because that's not really September yet. So.
Tuesday the 8th works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday
the 8th is fine.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
And we're doing it. Say that again.
It doesn't work for you, or do you want 7:30 again?
Me? I'll make it work. So Tuesday the 8th at 7 o'clock.
That's when Gene gets. That's when Gene gets out of work, so I have to make supper, so I might be late.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I could always eat alone by myself. All right.
Okay, so Tuesday the 8th at
7. 3rd?
7.
7.
Do people want 7:30?
I liked it. Some of the mothers might not like it though. Yeah.
School won't be started yet.
My
Earlier
school
the
will be
better.
started. I'll be in meetings all day.
I can do,
Girls
I
want
can
to
do,
go to bed.
doesn't matter to me. I can do 7.
I don't care.
Okay,
Jean
we'll
can
plan for
cook her own
7.
dinner.
I'll come over and eat with you, Dave.
All right.
Okay.
Hot dogs and beans.
Okay. Tuesday the 8th, 7 o'clock. And I will declare it
Oh,
adjourned.
wait a minute. Mira didn't get to vote yet.
Oh, sorry. Mira, did you vote to
Yes.
adjourn?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see everyone Tuesday the 8th at 7 p.m. So, be sure to sign
Have a
up
good
for
night,
mini golf
everybody.
events.
Yes.
Help me out,
Good night.
please.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Except the pretzels and the donuts. Those are mine.
Drive up the price of the pretzel and the donuts, guys.
Yeah.
You will not outbid me.